Welcome to the Table Rush Talk Show. This episode is titled Quality is Subjective, Document Don't Create Part 2. As always, subscribe right down there in the corner. In this episode, I get into subjective versus objective, and that quality is subjective, so you should be cranking out the content. Gary V agrees. What else do I talk about? Oh, yes, I've been sending out some quotes. People have been interested in having me create TikTok, shorts, reels, all that stuff by repurposing their current long-form videos. Listen in, super fun episode. You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end, the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Mischa Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy. Document, don't create, part 2. Batch recording. Batch recording's so great. Unfortunately, I've got the same shirt, so I can't pretend that it's a different day. Same shirt, same ponytail, same glasses. If I was smart, I'd go on my walk with a backpack and have 4 t-shirts in it so I could swap the t-shirts, change my hair. That's what people do. You realize that that's what content creators do. They batch record a whole bunch of episodes in one sitting. And they change their clothes, they change their hairstyle, they do all this stuff. So it can look like it's a legit new episode every day. But really, on this walk, I could probably get out 4 or 5, 8 to 10 minute riff episodes. But you're gonna know. So be it. Messy action. And I'm going to refer back to, I love this thing from Gary V, which I'm going to remind you of. Quality is subjective versus it being objective. Some people watching this or clicking through this quick is going to say that this is not a quality piece of content because it's perhaps not thought out super well, it's perhaps not edited up, it's perhaps all these different things, right? And an objective viewpoint means that that is true. That we can look at a piece of content and go, everybody can say, yes, that is good quality, or no, that is bad quality. But here's the thing. Somebody is going to see this and go, that's a great piece of content because it's from the heart and somebody's going for it. I'm going for it, or whatever it is, or they love that they can hear the birds chirping in the background and they get to see some trees in the park. Whatever, it's meditative for them perhaps, I don't know. Your voice is so soothing. And so they're going to say, yes, that is the perfect piece of content. So that's objective, is that when everybody says yes or everybody says no, or you can point to it and there's no argument. You know, it's either good or bad. Subjective viewpoint is more of an opinion. There's an opinion to it. Some people are going to go, yeah, that's awesome. Some people are going to go, no, that's not awesome. And so it's in the eye of the beholder. And Gary V's like, crank the content out. And Gary pumps out these little clips where people are like, well, it's got to be good quality. And he's like, quality is subjective, my friends. Get the content out. So I'm subscribing to the Gary V idea. That's what I'm doing. You may not. The beauty is you don't have to follow me. All right. Where am I going to go after my quality versus quantity? No. Subjective versus objective. Yeah, I'm back. had to regather my thoughts. I didn't want you to be on pause for too long, or sitting in silence for too long. It's a great way to lose a viewer, I suppose, unless the viewer is being patient and breathing with you. Bit of great news. I've been pumping out the content, repurposing my creations into all these little mini clips, sending them out. Somebody saw what I was doing. They said they would like me to do some of that for them, repurpose some clips for them, and they'd be willing to pay me for it. So it's the second person that's asked me to do it. The first person that asked me to do it, I gave them a quote. They said they had 10 to 20 interviews that they wanted to repurpose into, good morning. There's a wee lad. He was looking up in wonder. It's so funny if you think about it with kids. It's like, as an adult, when you stand next to a horse, you're like, God damn, that's a big animal. It can be intimidating, right? Like, that's a big animal. Especially if you don't know said horse. Just thinking, like, that's what kids do when they look up at humans, adults, I mean. We're freaking giants compared to these little kids, right? They literally look up and see a giant. It's kind of an interesting thought. So I have 2 quotes out. I had put a quote out there, and I said I will repurpose 10 of your interviews, and I will create 3 to 5 reels, sizzle reels, that are appropriate for reels, shorts, what else? Whatever the social media, all the TikToks, da-da-da-da. And I'll do it for X amount, and I'll do 20 of those interviews for X amount. And I was even going to schedule the interviews and wrangle them in and do all that. So I'd record the interviews, then slice them and dice them. So if you did 10 interviews, if I were to slice and dice 10 interviews, they would end up with 30 to 50 cool social media clips. Shorts, TikToks, reels. What do we call these things? Let's call them a mini clip. I just call them a mini clip to keep it straight. Or a reel is appropriate, I suppose. A short mini clip. So create these mini clips. And so if I were to do 20 interviews, slice them and dice them into mini clips, that would be 60 to, what's 20 times 3 is 60? 60 to 100. That's a lot of content to give somebody that they can push out a TikTok or 2 every day, or they can push it out across all short form platforms, in your stories, in your posts, all over the place, which I've been doing to awesome effect. So this person didn't have budget for that, because I was like, here's what I'll do, because it takes a lot of work. And so she said no. I told my friend Tom, Sant Eyewear Tom, I was like, hey Tom, this is what happened. And he goes, hey, you know what you can do is you can ask what their budget is first. Say, hey, well, what's your budget? And then give them a quote based on their budget. And that was an inspired idea, because he's an eyewear designer as well. So he helps design eyewear for these big companies. So a lot of the eyewear that you see out there today, Tom has designed or is designing. And he has Sant Eyewear as well, so you could check that out. So this other person came to me and said, hey, I would love you to, they did a summit, they had 10 interviews, and they wanted to repurpose and come up with a bunch of clips like I was doing, because I'd repurposed some of my summit interview interviews into these little mini clips to push out over the social media and create engagement. My big thing right now too as well, and you can see this episode that I posted, it's a couple episodes ago. If you want engagement, you've got to engage. And so these little repurposed interview clips are a great way to engage and create engagement. So I said, well, what's your budget? And she said, X amount. I was like, great. I'll do 3 of your interviews for you. I will turn those 3 interviews into 3 to 5 sizzle reel clips, mini clips. And then, so and she said, okay, that meets my budget. And she Venmo'd me the money. How amazing is that? So I'm in the process of creating, 3 interviews, 3 to 5 clips per, all these clips for her. So that's going to be, 9 to 15 clips that then she can push out over all the platforms. I make them so they're push-outable over all the platforms. How's that? That's pretty exciting. So exciting. I have so much more to say about Document, Don't Create, but this episode's gone a little long. Love to all. Tune in for episode 3 of my batch recorded episode, Document, Don't Create. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.